virtual CP of 2022. We hope all of you have had a relatively peaceful last 2 weeks thanks to the limited extension. Our session today is on data analysis using Excel, which is a topic that's assumed a great deal of importance of late. Our speaker for the day will be CA Manu Balachandran KT, an expert on this topic. Before we move on to the session, I'd like to call upon our chairman to welcome the speaker and the participants. Our chairman is stepping down from his office in the next few weeks after a very successful year, which saw the acquisition of a new premises and a record number of programs, including one of the vice president. So over to you, chairman.
Thank you so much, Steve Alan Joseph. Very good evening to all the respected participants, managing committee colleagues, and eminent faculty for this evening, CA Manu Balachandran. As all of us know, like how Alan said, the kind of extension that we've got, probably it's got a little more relaxing than how we expected it to be. But nonetheless, because of the current scenario of the avid surge in the COVID cases, especially in majority of our chartered accountant offices, that all of us are suffering with the limited students that we have available. I am given to understand some of the senior firms, the large firms in Kochi have completely shut down in the last couple of days with the kind of COVID cases that they have in their offices. As we might remember in the last May, June, that Ernakulam branch could get to host the mega vaccination drive for all our members, all our office students, for family members. We are also now thinking of planning for the booster drive. I was speaking to the authorities at Apollo Hospital and at Lakshmi Hospital. And for any of our members who require, and for their family members who require a booster dose, Lakshmi Hospital and Apollo is willing to host. So if at all you have someone, please feel free to let us know. We'll definitely do the needful and get it done. Especially a time that all of us have to remain safe. Today, I think it is again close to 50% the test positivity rate, especially in Kochi. So all of us have to take good care. Keep yourself in a very safe environment. Audit, though it is prolonged, that we have some time left. So keep yourself safe. Keep yourself healthy. For the evening today, very relevant topic that we have, and young and dynamic chartered accountant Manu Balachandran. We've had the good opportunity to host him once a few months back on an IT topic again. And especially now that the Excel and the data analysis that is very relevant, especially using the data from Excel, is going to be a very interesting topic for all of us to go through. Hearty congratulations and wholeheartedly welcoming Manu Balachandran for handling our session today. Our very respected managing committee colleagues, Vice Chairman of the branch, CA KV Jose, immediate past chairman, CA Roy Varghese sir, treasurer of the branch, Alan Joseph, wholeheartedly welcoming my managing committee colleagues. And I should also, like how Alan said, before we step in and move in to a new committee, I should wholeheartedly recognize the efforts, the cooperation, the support that all of us have given me over the last 1 year, especially my managing committee colleagues who were instrumental in whatever we could do in a little way this year. Truly dedicate to my respected past chairman and to my managing committee colleagues. With this very few little words, let me wholeheartedly once again welcome all of you all to the session today. Thanks, and back to Alan Joseph. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairman. It's my pleasure to introduce CA Manu Balachandran, a young and dynamic chartered accountant from Kochi. He's been with Suri & Company at the Chennai office post-qualification. Recently, in January 2019, he moved to their Kochi office as an audit manager. CA Manu has a host of qualifications, including diploma in business law, certification course on Ind-AS and DISA. He's had the opportunity to handle various high-profile clients, including an Navratna company. With these short words of introduction, may I invite CA Manu to start with the session.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, everyone, and thanks to the entire ICAI team for giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge in Excel. So let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to all. Can anyone give a vocal answer?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fine. So let's directly move into the topic. So our today's discussion is on data analysis using Microsoft Excel. So we always think that the data analysis part is pretty difficult to do with Microsoft Excel, and there are so many other softwares or tools or programming languages that are the which helps us to do data analysis in a better way than Microsoft Excel. So with the recent changes that is happening with Microsoft Excel, that is not the case. Now even Excel is a very good data analysis tool. So I am not putting this the screen into presentation mode because I have hardly 1 or 2 slides. Then I'll be directly moving into Microsoft Excel with the live examples. So yeah, this is a common disclaimer which I always put before my session. I don't think that we need to spend time to read this. By respecting the 2 hours time that we have, we can directly move into the topic. So moving to the introduction of Microsoft Excel. So Microsoft Excel, as you all know, it's a spreadsheet developed by Microsoft for Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. So it's a good analytical tool after introducing artificial intelligence into Microsoft Excel. So let me take all of you to your articleship period. So when you were doing articleship, initially you would have seen this tool called Microsoft Excel. Those times you will be directly using mouse for clicking the menus, and you'll be using the keyboard only for the purpose of typing. Later on, slowly you would have understood that there are so many shortcut keys in Microsoft Excel, and you would have slowly moved your way of working from more of keyboard and less of mouse. So everyone would have experienced this phase of life when you are dealing with Microsoft Excel. So even like someone who always uses keyboards and never touches mouse when he uses Microsoft Excel, we assume that he is very good in. So like every curve, even for Microsoft Excel, now it's a U-turn time. So that's what I mentioned there. We started with clicks, then jumped into the world of shortcut keys. Now with latest changes in Excel, now welcome back to the world of clicks. So we are going back to the mouse clicks now today. In today's discussion, I'll be explaining you something called Power Query, there where we will be seeing that all the data, whatever I'm doing, all the analysis, whatever I'm doing, it'll be using my just mouse clicks. Okay, so I'll not be typing anything in keyboard. Very less of usage of keyboard will be there, and more of usage of clicks will be there. Okay, so with that small introduction, let me directly move into the Excel. Hope you can see the Excel screen now. Can anyone confirm?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So let's start what is a data analysis. So I need not explain what is data analysis. So when it comes to data analysis, there are 3 major aspects. The first one is getting right data. The second one is arranging the data. And the third one is analysis of data. When it comes to these 3 phases of data analysis, getting data is something which you get directly from, from whichever data source it may be. Say, for example, if you're doing a data analysis for your client, from their ERP, whatever data that you are gathering. So I need not spend much time with regard to getting data. Okay, and the next phase is arranging the data. Arranging data in data analysis plays a very vital role, because if you don't have a proper data to give to the system for data analysis, you will not be able to do a proper data analysis using MS Excel, or be it any other programming language for that matter. So our today's focus mainly will be on arranging data, and that too in Power Query. So as I told you, we are going back to the clicks now. So we'll be seeing how Power Query can help us to do the cleaning of data. Okay. Then we'll be seeing some other tools also for arranging in data, and then slowly to the last phase of data analysis, that is analysis tool. So in analysis tool, we'll be covering few areas of analysis tool, but by respecting the time that we have only 2 hours of time for today's discussion. I'll not be much emphasizing on the analysis tool, whichever I have mentioned here. Based on the time availability, we will see the analysis tools. My primary focus today will be on arranging the data, which is the key for data analysis. So with that small note, let me start today's discussion. So as I told you, I'm starting with getting the data. So I already mentioned that the data, whatever you are getting for data analysis, I need not spend much time on that. But what I'm going to discuss today is something called get and transform data. Now, once this artificial intelligence came into picture and the latest developments happened in Microsoft Excel, there are so many new tools coming into picture. You might be heard about Power Query, then Power BI, then Power Automate. All those things you might have heard of. Even this flash fill, which I mentioned over here, this flash fill, all these things are latest development in Excel. Latest means it's actually started from 2010 onwards. It's not that latest. It's 12 years old almost. So in one of that is get and transform data. Now, where this get and transform data is available. If you go to data tab, inside that the first ribbon is get and transform data. Now, what you can do with this get and transform data? You can do a lot of magic using get and transform data. So our entire discussion from starting from get and transform data from Tally, all these Power Queries, I'll be using these ribbons. Okay, so this ribbon is very important for us when we are thinking about data analysis. So let's start with a small example, how to get data from a Tally. Let me open Tally. Okay, let it come. By the time I'll explain you what I'm going to do. So here using this get data, I'm going to link outside software, that is Tally in this today's example. Give me a second. Yes, I have opened one sample private limited Tally data. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to link the Tally data into this Excel. So a link will be created between this Excel and the Tally data, and whatever corrections that you make in Tally, if you refresh this link, automatically it will get updated in Microsoft Excel also. So how you can use this get and transform data for Tally when you're retrieving the data from Tally, how you can use it in your audits and all. You can very well get Tally, the trial Tally. Once you link the Tally to Microsoft Excel, the closing balances will be available here. Once the closing balances comes here, what you can do is just copy paste the closing balances and tell your client to prepare the financial account using that Excel file. So once the financials are prepared, once you start your audit, once the audit is over, you would have suggested few audit entries or correction entries to the client. Once they pass all those correction entries, what you need to do is replace the Tally backup, just refresh the link, revise the balances, the updated balances you will be getting in Excel, and you just compare that with the balances with which you prepare the financials. If you are satisfied, you can close the audit with that. So that's the help that Excel can give you through this get data. So let's see how we can do that. If you click on this get data, under from other sources tab, there is one tool called from Microsoft Query. If you click on Microsoft Query, you can see Tally ODBC. Click on OK. So now Excel is connecting to Tally. So once it's connected, now in today's example, what I'm going to show you is the trial balance linking to Microsoft Excel. So I'm selecting, expanding this ledger. So what I want is the ledger name, then the parent means under which head that ledger is grouped, and then closing balance. So these three parameters I want as a result in my Excel with a link to the Tally. Okay. So then I'm clicking on next, again next. Then if you want, you can sort the data, sort by name or sort by parent or sort by closing balance. However you want, you can do that. I'm not doing that as of now. Then click on next, then finish. Once you finish, it will ask you where the data has to be saved. So I'm selecting this B5 itself, then I'm clicking on OK. See, now the trial balance from Tally is appearing in for you in Excel sheet. Okay, so we'll just quickly check the ledger balances of Anugraha Enterprises alone, then we'll move on. So you can see here 7128. There's a balance which is coming over here. Okay, so now a link is created between Tally and the Excel in this sheet. Okay, so what you can do is, as I already explained to you, you just need to copy paste this D column into E column. Tell your client to prepare financials using this E column. So whenever you tell all the audit entries, once the corrections are done, you replace the Tally backup with a new backup. You should ensure that it should be replaced in the same place where the link is already created, and then just right click and click on refresh. Once you refresh it, the revised balances will come here automatically. Put a difference between D and E, then analyze that and then close your audit. So few tools like this, get and transform data and all those things, I'll be running very fastly because I want to focus more on Power Query. That's the reason. So I'm not showing changing the balances in Tally and all. Now, if you change something here and then refresh, automatically these balances will change. Okay. Now, coming to the second part of the discussion for the day, again, it's related to get and transform data only. How you can get the data from web. Okay. So this is TCS details in Toffler. So I'm taking this URL to link the web page to my Excel sheet. Okay. Again, same way, I'm going to data, get data. If you see from other sources, there is something called web. I'm clicking on web. It will ask for from which URL I want to link. So I'm giving the URL here. It might take some time to get the data. Now the connection is establishing. Now it is searching for the available tables in that website. So it has listed out the available tables now. So from that, I want, say, for example, the financial report of Tata Consultancy. I've selected that and I'm loading it here. Just clicked on load. Again, this link which is created now, that is also, it will automatically update based on the data that updates in the website. Okay, you just have to right click and refresh. Where you can use all these tools is mainly where if you are doing some analysis, like say for example, if you're a portfolio manager, where you want to analyze the share price regularly. So you will have your own computations for that. So what you can do is you can link from NSE's website, the share price website, directly to Excel. And from here onwards, you can do all your calculations from column C onwards. You can do all your calculations. Once you do that, whenever there is a share price changes, you just need to right click and refresh it. Automatically, the share prices will change and your computation will change accordingly. So you'll be able to take quick decisions on that. So with this two examples, I'm stopping the discussions on get and transform data. So, but if you see, you can get the data from so many other tools or softwares. Like from databases, you can take from SQL servers, you can take from files, Excel workbook. This we'll be seeing when we come to Power Query, how to take it from Excel workbook, from XML, from JSON, from PDF, and from other sources like ODBC servers and from web, from tables. So all these things linking the data with that software or with that tool is possible in Microsoft Excel. Okay. Now, moving to the our today's major point of discussion, that is Power Query. Now, what is Power Query? Power Query is one of the greatest development happened in Microsoft Excel with artificial intelligence. So this is what I told you, that the tool is already available from 2010 onwards, but it has changed a lot now. You have a lot of things which can be done through Power Query. It actually automates various Excel functions and formulas, like the formulas that you use, like concatenate, proper, upper, lower, all these formulas, and then the formulas like VLOOKUP, all those things will be automated using this tool called and Power Query is actually a ETL tool. ETL means extract, transform, and then load. Okay, so it will extract the data, it will transform the data, and then it will load the data for the purpose of analysis. Okay, so and the Power Query is actually created with three bases. So the programming language base is SQL, and VB is also there. Visual Basic is also there, and Microsoft Excel is also there. So it's a deadly tool actually. Something like when you think about data analysis, some languages that comes into your mind is like Python, R, and all those things. So when it comes to those languages, the challenges that you may face is it doesn't have a user interface like Visual Basic can provide you. And like the data, it might not have a good spreadsheet to finally see your results, and then from there to report to the whomever you're reporting to. So all those things might be missing when you see other languages. So you may have to depend other tools also. Say, for example, if you're using R or Python, the results, whatever you're getting, you may be taking that from there to Microsoft Excel to do your further reporting. So all those things you will be there when it comes to other programming languages. So here it's a combination of a programming language and a user interface and Microsoft Excel, a good spreadsheet also. So it's a deadly combination which makes the Power Query very relevant for us. And say, for example, when you're using some other user-friendly analytical tool also, there are so many softwares available in the market which does the analysis, that analysis. So if you are using any of those softwares, you are supposed to know the in-depth of those softwares, then only you will be able to use it in full way. So, but Excel knowledge is very common for all of us. So with the limited knowledge of Excel, whatever we have, we should be easily able to use Power Query. That is a advantages of using Power Query. Okay. Now, whatever that those data analysis tools or softwares can do, all those things, even now, even Microsoft Excel can do for you people. But the only limitations are it is still in developing stage. I can't say that it is 100% developed. Like if you ask for a proper audit trial, it might not be there. It might be missing. Yes, in Power Query, audit trials are available, but it's easily editable. So many such limitations may be there, but of course, I'm sure that Microsoft will come up with latest updates on this, which will take care of all these things also. So now, this is a built-in tool from Excel 2016 onwards, Excel's 2016 version onwards. This Power Query is a built-in tool. For older versions, it's an add-in tool. And Power Query is just an example to give you a flavor of Power Query to you people. Power Query can manage automatic append of database. That means you have, say for example, you have a sales register month-wise, March to April, April to March sales register you have. If you have the sales register with you monthly in 12 different sheets, by using few clicks in mouse, you can append all the database and make it as one sales register. Okay, and this is an entire replacement of VLOOKUP. So viewers, actually, if you search online, you will understand that the commonly searched formula in Microsoft Excel is VLOOKUP. It's a commonly used formula also. So everyone need the formula to look up something. So I'm sure that everyone who is attending today's session will know what is VLOOKUP, how it has to be given. So now this Power Query with mouse clicks, it fully replaces the formula called VLOOKUP. be it VLOOKUP, be it XLOOKUP. Once the table array functions came into Excel, now Excel also allows you to do XLOOKUP, array lookup. That also can be done using Power Query. Okay, and there are 700 plus functions available in Power Query. So with this introduction, let's start few examples. As I already told you, this topic is not something which will fit in 2 hours time frame. So what I'm trying to do is quickly to give a flavor of few tools which is available in Microsoft Excel. I'm pretty sure that we all can learn all these tools online. So once you come to know that such tool exists, to learn those tools, it's very easy nowadays. So my intention in today's session is that by the end of today's session, you will be knowing few functions which can be done through Power Query and through other tools also, which you can explore further. Okay, so starting with cleaning of data. Now here in this example, what we will see is we will use Power Query, okay, which will avoid using of all these formulas. You need not use the formula trim. You need not use the formula concatenate. You need not use formula upper or lower or proper. Okay, all those formula need not be used. Just by few clicks, you can do all those things with this data. So this data you can see here, it's not a properly arranged data. It has so many spaces in between, and it has name starts with small letter. It has even last name starts with small letters, last name having spaces. Even after the name also there are spaces. I'll just add few spaces here. And then the first name end is ended with a capital letter. All those issues are there with this. Now, if you normally use Excel as a tool, to clean this data, what you will do is all these functions you will do. Correct. You will trim it. Okay, and let's assume that you want the result as full name. Okay, that means first name plus last name. Then you will use concatenate. Then you will, if you want to want everything in uppercase, you will use upper. Everything in lowercase means lower. Everything in properly arranged means the first letter of every word will be capital letter. Then proper. Those formulas you will use to clean this data. Now I'm going to do the cleaning of this data using Power Query. How to do this? Whenever you use any Power Query, the best method is to convert the data into a table. Okay, so this data I'm going to convert into table. So I'm just going to press Control L and then enter. So this is converted into table now, and I'm going to give a table name here. We'll give a name clean data. So I created a table called clean data now. Okay, so place your cursor somewhere in the table. Okay, then go to data. If you go to data, you can find here something called from table. Even in this list also it will be available from other sources. If you just a second. From table, from inside from other sources, you can see from table. So just click on this from table. It will take you to a Power Query editor. Once you click on that, it will take you to the Power Query editor. Power Query editor is the place where you do all your processes like cleaning of data. Okay. Once a table comes into Power Query editor, it is no more called as a table. It is called as a query. Okay. So now this is a query. The query name is clean data. Okay, which you can see here. Okay. Query data. Sorry, clean data. Now what you want to do here is you want the first name. Okay. If you click on transform, you can see all the text related functions over here. If you click on format, you can see trim. Just click on trim, the data will be trimmed. Again, I'm clicking on the last name, format, trim. So the data is trimmed. The next thing what I want is I want to concatenate. I want to add these two names and it should come in one column called full name. So I'm selecting the first name and then I'm selecting the second name. Here order matters. Okay, you have to select the first name and then you have to select the last name, and then just a second. Then just click on merge columns. If you click on merge columns, it will ask you what is the separator that you want. So here I want to separate it with space and the name of the column. So I'm writing it as full name. If I just click OK, full names will come here. So you trimmed the data, you concatenated the data. Now, if you want everything in uppercase, just click on format uppercase. If you want everything in lowercase, click on format lowercase, and then capitalize each word. All these things are possible. See, if you see here, you can split column. Again, if you want to split or the first name and second name separately, you can use split column. And there are all these things are text related functions. All these are number related functions, and all these are date related functions. Okay, which is available in transform tab. Okay. So now with this example, I didn't load this data into Excel. So now once you do all your cleaning, data cleaning or whatever you wanted to do using Power Query, once you're done with that, you can just click on this close and load. Once you click on this close and load, you will get the result in Excel sheet as a table. Okay, so a new sheet has come here, clean data, in which you have the all the details with proper data. Okay, data format. Okay, now with this small example, now let's move to the next example of Power Query. Here, what I have is I have two data. The first one is a base table where I have employee ID, date, city, and the sale quantity. Okay. The next table I have the employee ID and name of that employee. I want the employee name here. So of course, in everyone's mind now one formula would have come, that is VLOOKUP. Now, how to do this using a Power Query is what we are going to see now. Okay. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to data, going to click on get data from file, from a workbook. Just a second. So I'm selecting this Excel sheet, the same Excel sheet which I'm explaining things to you now. Just clicking on import. Once I click on import, all the tables available in that Excel sheet will be displayed over here. Okay, so I missed one thing. As I told you, ensure that everything is just a second. Ensure that everything, whatever you do here, you convert the details into table first. Okay, then you perform Power Query. Okay, so I'm converting this into table. So base data is converted into table. Then I have lookup value. That also I'm converting into table. That is also converted now. Just pressing on Control S. Then again, now I'm going to data, get and transform data from a file from workbook. Selecting data analysis, the same Excel sheet which I'm dealing with now. So now if you see here, the tables will be coming over here. Again, I missed one thing. I didn't change the table names. So just a second. If you're not changing the table names, now since for this session, I have created so many tables, all the tables will be listed there. It will be very difficult for you to identify. So I'm changing this table name as lookup table. Space is not allowed. Lookup table, and this base table as sales table. So again, I'm pressing on Control S, saving it. Then going to data, get and transform data from my file from workbook. Again, selecting data analysis, import. Now here you can see the sales table and the lookup table here, but you are not able to select both. So what you have to do is select multiple items. Just click here. Then you can select multiple items. I'm going to select sales table as well as lookup table. Okay. And then click on transform data. Once you click on transform data, both the table will be coming into your Power Query editor. So now both the tables are available in your Power Query editor. Now here what you have to do is, just a second. Yes. If you click on here merge queries options, you can see. Okay, so I'm clicking here on merge queries as new. So a new sheet will be open for that. So once I click on merge queries as new, a window will pop up where the base file I have to select. All the files which I have incorporated into a Power Query editor will be available there. If you remember, we started with the TCS linking with website, that is available. Then the clean data is available. Lookup table is available, and now we added lookup table and sales table. So the base data is sales table. The lookup table, from where the data, the name has to be taken, that also has to be selected. Then what you have to do here for VLOOKUP formula is just select on employee ID, and here also just select employee ID. Both you can see that it is highlighted in blue color, and here you can see that the selection matches 70 out of 70 rows, which means 70 items which is there in the base table has been mapped to this lookup table, and the data is available for you to retrieve. Okay, here join kind, there are many types available. Left outer means from the left column, that means the base column. Sales table, every data will be there, and the matching records from the second, from lookup, will be available. Same way, full outer means both the data that is there in sales table as well as in lookup table will be displayed over there. Okay, that we will see when it comes to GSTR 3B versus 2-year reconciliation. That also will be dealing it today. So that time we will see how to do that. Okay, full outer. So currently I'm selecting left outer. Once if I click OK, see, initially you had 4 columns. Now there's a 5th column added, that is the table, lookup tables summary. Like this, only data will come first. You just need to click on these 2 arrows and select what role the documents you want to be displayed over here. I don't want the employee ID to be repeated again because I already have employee ID over here. I want only the name of the employee. Okay, so I'm selecting only name here and then clicking OK. Then so now names are available here. I'm just changing the name into name or employee name. Just moving that near to the employee ID. So now the data is ready. Lookup is over. Data is ready for you to download. So once it's ready for you to download, then close and load. Once you click on close and load, you will get the data in a new sheet. See, this is the data with VLOOKUP details. Again, I'm not showing you all the details. Like whatever we did now, this is also created with a link only. So same like VLOOKUP, if you change the base data, once you click the once you do a right click and click on the refresh button, the data will automatically change accordingly. Okay. So with that example, we'll move to the next example in Power Query. That is 2 multiple sheets. See here, the same example only, like whatever you have seen now, the same example, the base file is in one sheet, the lookup file is in another sheet. Fine. So as I already told you, changing the base file into table, just giving the name as sales data 1. This is the lookup file, again converting that into table, giving the name as lookup table 1, and I'm closing both these Excel files. Now I am opening a new Excel file, which is a blank Excel file. Okay, doesn't have any data. Here I want the VLOOKUP format to be loaded here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to data, get data from a file, from workbook. Inside that, this is the base file. So I'm selecting that Excel file the same way what we did earlier. Here, why I am telling the same example again is mainly because when it is in two different sheets, you have to do it. You have to repeat the process twice. That's the only difference. But here, if you select the sales data, you don't want this data to be again brought into the result table. You only want the result there. So what you can do? Okay, here instead of load, if you click on this arrow mark, you can also find load to. Load means the data, this table will be loaded into the result file. I don't want that. So if you click on load to, you have an option called only create a connection. This means it will just create a connection between these two Excel files. Which two Excel files? The result file and the base file. Okay, so I'm just clicking OK. Once a connection is created, nothing will come here. Instead, you can see here sales data connection only. So one thing which I missed to tell you is that whatever you do in Power Query, it will be documented here. Okay, whatever steps you do will be documented here. And if you double click on that, you will be able to see the query window, and there you will be able to find out what you did there. Okay, so that is possible. So that audit trial is possible. This is what I told you. But the only issue is that anytime you can just delete this. See here also you can see the delete option. So if you delete this, the trial will go. Okay. Otherwise, if you are not deleting anything, a proper audit trial will be available for you. Okay. Now, same way how you connected with sales data 1, I'm going to connect with lookup data also. This is the lookup file. Clicking on import, lookup T1, load 2, only connection. Now both the connections are ready. Now, if you see here, as I told you, once you connect or once you load a table into a query window, afterwards it is not called as a table, it is called as a query. Now you have query 1, you have query 2. Query 1 is sales data, query 2 is lookup value. Okay, now you just need to click get data from other sources, combine queries. Okay, so with this combine queries option, you can either merge query means VLOOKUP, or you can append queries. That means the example which I told you, sales register. If you have a sales register for 12 months, just bring all the sales register like this. Create a connection for that, and then just click on append. All the registers will get appended. When you are appending, it need not be like the first column of month 1 need not be there in the first column of month 2. It can be there in the second column, no issues. But as far as the name of the column is same, the title of the column is same, then it will automatically pick up. Okay, so that's what append. Append I'm not showing today. So I'm just clicking on merge. Once I click on merge, I'm selecting sales data the same way what I did earlier. Selecting lookup data here, employee ID, 70 out of 70 will be matching. Clicking on OK the same way. Whatever we did earlier, the same things. Okay, so this I was just showing you to show how you can create only connection without importing the data. Okay. So now with that, I'm closing this Excel sheet. We'll move to the next example. So cleaning of data is the next example which you're going to see. Okay. how to clean this data. Now you see here, this is a arranged format of, let's assume that one accountant in a company prepares this on an annual basis. Okay, so this is a format that he follows. Now you have the revenue details over here, total revenue, expenses are the total expenses, and net income or loss, which is available in the last column, last row. Now the issue with this is, for an accountant, this data is perfect. It's well formatted, no issues. But for a data analyst, you cannot proceed with this data. You will not be able to do anything with this data. Even to put a pivot table, you will not be able to do with this data. Okay. Why? Because it is not arranged for data analysis purposes. Okay. So how can you make this data into such a format that we can easily analyze this data which is available here? Okay. So that's what we are going to see now. So first, what I'm going to do is I've selected the entire area where the data is available. Okay, I'm just changing that area's name. Okay, as clean data. Just a second. I think I gave the name already. Clean data somewhere in the explanation. So we'll just put it as clean. Okay, we'll just put it as clean because clean data I already used the term. Okay, so I'll just put it as clean. So just change the name. Select the area, change the name, because you cannot even recognize this as a table. I told you, whenever you use Power Query, always better to use as a table. Then automatically it will get uploaded into Power Query. Now you see what is the difficulty when you upload this into Power Query, because this you cannot change, convert this into table. So instead of that, I named this entire area as clean. Okay. Then I'm going to data. Same way, like however I exported the table, same way from table I have clicked. See, you can see all the null values here. So entire data is taken here, but everything has null values. Okay. Now I'm going to clean this data using Microsoft Excel Power Query editor. Okay. How I'm going to do that? What I want, I'll tell you that first. What I want is, I want this revenue to be written over here. All these null values should be revenue. Okay. All these null value should be expenses. Okay. Then I want, see here, one second. See here, if you see, the heading is already taken by the Power Query 2021 column 4 and all those things. I don't want that to happen. I will clean the data, then I will give the heading name. Okay. So whatever already applied steps, automatically applied steps, I am deleting that. So this is the source file now. Whatever is available was there in the Excel file. The same way it will be reflecting here also. I want to remove all these null values. Okay. Then what I want is the final result. How I want is revenue. Which type of revenue it is? Financial year, which financial year it is? Actual how much? Budgeted how much? As a columnar format. Column wise it should come. I guess there is a network problem. Can anyone confirm whether am I audible?
You're fine now, but we couldn't hear you for a while.
Okay, fine. Now,
Yes.
okay. Now I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Fine. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this entire data. So I don't know how, to what extent that you heard my discussion. So I'll just repeat it. What I want to do here is I want to change. See here, I have revenue. So I want the revenue to be repeated here, expenses to be repeated here. And I should get the data in such a format that where I'll be easily able to do a pivot table or some other kind of analysis. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you one by one. just clicking on column number 1, okay, where this revenue and expenses are there. Then in under transform tab, you can see this fill button. Okay, if you click on fill, I'm just clicking on fill down. So which means everywhere, wherever null value is available, the revenue is filled now. Okay, so once a revenue is filled here, next thing what I want to do is same way I want to fill this 2021 here also. But row wise filling in Excel is not possible. So since row wise filling is not possible, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform this table. Okay, so here you can see transpose. Once I transpose the table, just a second, before transposing, what I'm doing is I don't want the net income. I don't want the total expenses and total revenue columns. Okay, which I can do it later. Once I start analysis, I'll be able to do it later. Then I'm going to click on transpose. So now the year details has come here. Okay, so I'm clicking on that, and same way I'm just going to fill down. So the year details is also filled down now. Now I want to
Please hold on for a second. We're just trying to reach Manu once again.
hello, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible now. Yes.
I'm extremely sorry for that technical glitch. I had networks, but Cisco's it was showed that Cisco has some issues. Cisco was not functioning, so I had to close it and again rejoin. I'm not able to share the window now, to share the content.
Just 1 second or so.
Yeah.
Can you try now?
Yeah, it has enabled now. Yeah, I hope you can see the screen now.
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah. So we'll continue. So I was doing, I don't know up to what level that you heard my presentation. So what I was doing is I was just arranging this data properly. So what I did initially is I just gave the fill down option, and I wanted the revenue to be appearing everywhere. So what I did is I just selected this column, and from here I just clicked on fill down. Then later on I just clicked on transpose. Okay, where I gave the fill down for 2020-21 as well as for 21-22. Okay, there also in this column also I just selected and clicked on fill down. After doing that, I just want to concatenate this column 1 and column 2. Okay, so for that, I'm going to yeah, inside, if I go to, am I audible now? Is everything working properly?
Yes,
Because the
yes,
video is okay. It's okay, no, because the video is getting stuck in between. So I just wanted to confirm that. Right. Okay. So now what I wanted to do is just want to add these two columns, like this column 1 as well as column 2. I just want to merge both the columns. So I'm just clicking on merge columns. It's asking for separator. So I'm just giving one separator of my choice as colon. So with colon, it both got merged now. Okay. So once it's merged, next thing what I wanted to do is, again, I'll transpose it back. Okay. And now the first row can be my heading. So I'm just selecting the first row, use first row as headers. So it is added as headers now. Then now if you see, all the revenues are coming here, all the on footwear and other details are coming over here. Okay, here I don't want the null value, so I'm removing the null value from here. So without null value, it is available. Now, without affecting the first two columns, I want to unpivot columns. We'll see what happens when you click on unpivot columns. So unpivot other columns. Now I selected the first two columns and I'm clicking on unpivot other columns. If you click on that, you will get a detailed list with which you will be able to do all the pivot table and all the analysis, whatever you wanted to do. Now, here you can change the headings and all. This is revenue or revenue and expenses. Here you can change it as a category, then actual budgeted. Again, variance, if you don't want, you can just remove the variances from here. So without variance, actual data you will get. Once you get this, you just need to click on close and load. You will get the data into Excel sheet with which you can do all the data analysis. So I was telling you how to clean a data, which is, one second. Yeah, which was there in such a format. Okay, which is not possible for us to do any pivot table or any other analysis with this. And we have cleaned the data and now it is available like this. Okay, so this we can do using Power Query. That is the fifth example which I have with Power Query. Now the sixth example which I have, which we actually can very well use it in our day-to-day life, is GSTR 2A versus 3B reconciliation. Right. So here I have another folder that is 2A versus 3B. So I'm just opening the files. I'll just show you the file. I'll make it as table, then I'll close it. So I am selecting the entire data. Before I convert this into a table, I want to ensure that there are no null values, because in Power Query it will be shown as null value. So I don't want that to happen. So I am just changing those null values as 0. Then I'm selecting the entire data and making it as a table. The table name I'm giving it as a GSTR3B. So I gave the name also, and I'm closing it. Same way, I'm opening the next. Sorry, actually I didn't did it for 2A, I guess. Yes, I did it for 2A. So let it be there. So otherwise I'll change it once again. 2A, the table name I'll change it as 2A. Table design, table name, GSTR 2A. And I'm closing that file. Now what I'm going to open is GSTR 3B. In 3B also, first what I'm going to do is wherever there is a null value, I don't want that to be there. So null values, I'm just replacing it with 0. So that is done. And I actually, this is something which I copy pasted from GSTR 2A itself. So now just for our understanding, let us remove the invoice number. In 3B, like this, let's assume that this is downloaded directly from the software ERP that the client is using. They forgot to enter this ESPL. Instead, they just type the invoice number along there. EPIL is not typed. Okay. So we'll keep it as it is now. So you remember this one, EPIL is not added for one invoice number. Okay. Then I'm just clicking on save, converting this into table, giving the name as GSTR 3B. And I'm closing it. So now I have the result file, which is a blank file. So here I'm going to do the comparison between GSTR 3B and 2A. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, again, data table, get data from file, from Excel workbook. All these things we already saw now, so I need not explain again. So here I have 3B data, import 3B, load to. I'm just creating only connection. Only connection. Okay. Then again, I'm going to click on get data from file, Excel workbook, 2A, import GSTR 2A, load to. All these things I already explained in the initial discussions. That's why I'm doing it fast. Create only connection. So both 3B and 2A, both the queries are available here now. Now what you're going to do is you're going to combine queries, merge. So same VLOOKUP function you're going to do. Here, till now what we were doing is we were giving a VLOOKUP only for one item, okay, or one column, okay, one data. Now here you cannot do that because just with GSTN you will not be able to do a VLOOKUP with 2A. You all know that. What normally we does when we do a 3B 2A reconciliation using Excel is we will concatenate GSTN with invoice number. Here 2A also will concatenate GSTN with invoice number. Then you will do a VLOOKUP function. That's how you normally does. Okay. Then also when you give VLOOKUP functions, the invoice number errors, like the way how I added now in GSTN 3B, I edited one invoice number. I purposefully removed EPIL. So those things and all will not capture in VLOOKUP. Now, what will happen in Power Query, we will see now. Okay. So now I'm going to create a connection, I mean, lookup value for multiple columns. Okay. Here, I'm going to connect the GSTN and invoice number. You can see the first selection is GSTN 1. The second selection is invoice number, that is 2. Same order you have to select in 2A also. Here, the first one is GSTN, second one is invoice number. Once you do that, here you can see that in the first table, here you're given only left outer. That's the reason. Okay, if you're giving only left outer, in the first table, you have 46 data. Out of that, 45 data is matching. One is not matching. We know which is not matching because I removed one EPIL. That will not be matching now. Okay. Here I don't want only 3B data because my entire reconciliation of 2A 3B will not be over only with 3B data. So what I want is full outer. That means from both rows I want the details. Now out of 46 in 3B, 45 matches. Out of 49 in 2A, 45 matches, which means 2A has 4 line items which is not matching with 3B. Okay. Then I'm clicking on OK. Once I click on OK, as I already told you, with the base table, a new table will be added to A. Whatever data you want in that you have to select from the list by clicking on expand. Okay. So whatever data you want means you want all the data except maybe tax rate you can remove, state you can remove. Why? Because some documents will be there only in 2A. If it is only in 2A, of course, line number 2 you can see. In 3B data, it will be becoming it will be shown as null. If it is shown as null means you will not be able to identify which invoice it is. So you have to give the entire details of 2A also. I'm just removing tax rate and state of supply because that doesn't have any relevance in our discussion. Okay, so just clicking on OK. Now, if you see here, you will be able to see all the 2A data which is available here. Okay, now your 2A 3B data, it's added now. Now, what I'm going to do is close and load. If you close and load, you will be able to see this in a sheet. Now, the first part from A to K, it is 3B. From L onwards, it is 2A. Okay, it's mentioned here, just 2A. So now, if I take the blanks alone, that means the data which is not there in 3B, but there in 2A only. There are 4 invoices which is not there in 2A, but only in 3B. Okay. So out of which one is that EPIL which we removed also. That is also coming here, which is not the correct way. Okay. Even when we are doing in Excel using VLOOKUP, we have to manually check all these things with amount and all those things. Then only we will be rectifying this, correct? So that issue is there in the basic VLOOKUP function, basic query, the functions VLOOKUP which we used here in Query Manager also. Okay. So now we will see one more thing. If I remove the blank, there are 46 3B line items, of which one is not matching is what they told. So I select the blank in 2A. So this row item, this is there in 3B, but not there in 2A. So we all know it's because the invoice number is changed now. Okay. So that is coming as the last line item. If you see here, I'll just remove the filter. If you see here, it will come as a last line item, which is not matching in 3B. Okay. Which is there in 3B, not there in 2A. Okay. This is how the result has come for us now. Okay. Again, I will do this exercise again just by one change. Okay. So I'm going to data, get data. Again, I already have the data available here, 3B and 2A. So I just need to combine queries and click on merge queries. Once I click on merge queries, I'm selecting 3B here. I'm selecting 2A here, GSTN invoice number, GSTN invoice number. Now I want full outer and I want the fuzzy matching to perform the merge. Okay, so fuzzy lookup, fuzzy check also will be done before matching. Now you can see in 3B 46 or 46, all items matched. Even that one difference which we had earlier, that also is matching now. Here 49, 46, that means 3 invoices which is there in 2A, not there in 3B. Okay, now if you click OK, again you have to select from this 2 arrow. I'm just removing tax rates and state of supply, then clicking on OK. So all the details are available there now. Then close and load. So you are getting the data now here. Now if you see here, if you remove the blanks, first we will see for 3B, you remove the blank and there won't be any blank in 2A, which means all the items in 3B is mapped. Okay, so now if you see here, the question here is you should ensure that all the fuzzy mapping, whatever system has done, is correct. How can you identify this fuzzy mapping? If you see here, after 7, 8 is missing. So whatever fuzzy added through fuzzy mapping, it will be available at the end. See here, you will be able to see this. Here, the GSTN number, it will be exactly matched. But the invoice number, if you see, it has EPIL slash. This will not EPIL slash. But still, system will map these 2 items, which is there in GSTN 2A and 3B. And finally, the result of this will be there are 3 invoices which is there in GSTR 2A for which we have not taken credit in GSTR 3B. These 3 are the invoices. So like this, you can automate now with this Power Automate with this Power Query. Look, Power Automate is all the clicks that you do, which I'm not dealing it today. The Power Automate, what it does is whatever click you do in Microsoft Excel, that will not only in Excel, like whatever you do, like whatever actions you do using click, that will be automated. That can be done through Power Automate. So if you use Power Automate with this Power Query for 2A 3B reconciliation, then the 2A 3B reconciliation is actually a matter of seconds. I am not saying that this is a 100% reconciliation. Yes, of course, at one level it will be over. After that, your manual verifications, like there will be some more items where the invoice number is totally wrong, but all other GST number and amounts, everything will be matching. Those mapping and all has to be done manually only, but the major part of your 2A 3B reconciliations will be done using Power Query. Okay. So with that, we are closing the examples related to Power Query. So coming to the conclusion part of Power Query, this, as I already told you, it has a lot of functions which can be done, but within the given time frame, I just wanted to highlight few tools which is available in Power Query. So it has so many other tools also, like appending of database, combining of database. Like you have 3 columns in one database, another 3 columns in another database. You can combine those two and bring it as 6 column database. Okay. Same way, like date functions like age. If you have dates available, you will get the age as on date. What is the age of that person's, that can be identified. Then number functions like a round off, you can do round off using that. Then group by category is available there. So all those things are available in Power Query. So I just wanted to give a flavor of what Power Query is. So with this, we are stopping the discussions on Power Query. Now we'll be slowly moving into the other data cleaning tools. The first one is flash fill. Again, this flash fill is something came into Excel with the artificial intelligence element in it. Okay, so we'll see what it is. We all know how to do a text to column. Okay, so let's assume this is a data. This is a data log that who has accessed the system and at what time and on which date. So David KM accessed it at on 10 a.m. on 21st May 2020. So that's how you have to read this data. Now you want this data in a proper format in Excel. So we'll try this with text to column. So I'm just going to data, text to column, sorry, selecting the data, text to column, just giving delimited and space as the delimiter, clicking next and finish. You will not get a proper data here. The reason being the space is not on an even basis. Like even you can't give a fixed width also, because fixed width also will not work here because the name characters differs and all those things happens here. In addition to that, why I'm telling that all delimiter will not work here. Some data has, say for example, this has 10 a.m. that has 10. Here it is 9:30 a.m. 9 doesn't have a 0 before that. 0, it's not mentioned as 09. It's just 9. So it will not be identified. Same way, 8:30 p.m. Here, in between 10 and a.m. there is a space. 9:30 and p.m. there is a space. 8:30 and p.m. there is no space available. Same way, 2020, some data has only 20. Okay. Some has 2 initials after the name. Some has a surname after the name. Like someone's initial is before the name. So all these issues are there. Now, what you can do here, you can use the tool called Flash Fill, which is available inside Data Tool ribbon under Data tab. Okay, under Data tab, Data Tool ribbon, inside that you can see Flash Fill. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to first define the first row. So I'm defining the first row, that how I want the data. I want the name to be there in the first. Then I want the time alone. On the third column, I want whether it is AM or PM. On the fourth column, I want the date. This is how I want the data. I have defined the first row. Okay. Then what I have to do is I just need to go to the first column, click on Flash Fill. Again, second column, click on Flash Fill. Third one, Flash Fill. Fourth one, Flash Fill. You will get the data in the same format. Okay. Now this data is properly arranged in Excel. It is properly reading in Excel. So you can do the further analysis with this Excel file. Okay. So this is how you should use flash fill. Okay. Where the data is not in a format which can be converted into columns using text to column option, you can very well use this flash fill option. Now remove duplicate. I did not explain this to you. I just added as a data cleaning tool. Like if you want to remove the duplicates, what you have to do is select the entire thing. Here, remove duplicate option will be there. Just click on OK. The duplicates will be removed. So you had a red as a duplicate, green as a duplicate, orange as a duplicate. So all those things are removed. Only unique values will be available here. So moving to the next tool, that is data validation tools. Again, here also I need not spend much time on that because you all might be knowing what is data validation tools. Still, I'll just quickly go through what is data validation tools available. Then inside data validation, if you click here, data validation is actually available inside the data tab, data tools ribbon. If you click on data validation, you can see that you can give whole number, decimal, list, date, time, text length, and custom. You can customize also. So whatever validation that you want. So now first I'm selecting whole numbers, going to data validation. Any value, I'm just selecting whole numbers between 10 to 50. Just clicking on OK. Here, if I try now, if I try to enter 51, it will show it has an error. So it allows only you to enter between 10, about 10 and up to 50. So if you try some other numbers, it will not allow you. So now how you can use all this data validation is if you want some data in a particular format and you're giving this to your client to fill and give it to you, you can use all these validation tools. Okay. Text length, same way for a PAN card and all 10-digit numbers and all those things you can give here. I'm not spending much time on that. So here text length you can give equal to 10. That means only 10 digits will be allowed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This will be allowed. Now, if I try to add one more A here, it will not allow you. Same way, date, in between what dates you want. Between what dates you want, or if you want, all these options are available. Less than date or greater than date or equal to date. All those things are possible, which you can give. Okay. Same way, drop down list. A drop down list here, I want all the southern state to be listed over here. Just select this, go to data validation tool. Here you select list, source file you select, the data whichever you want to be listed there. Then you click on OK. So you can see a small arrow mark here. If you click on that, the list will be available. If you try to add something else, okay, it will not come. Okay. Now, when you do in data validation, if you want to give information before entering the data, what you can do is input message you can give. Okay. Key in from the list. Just giving some random text there. You can explain that whatever you want to give. Okay. Then error alert also I want to stop. Like it should not be allowed anything other than this list. You have option stop, warning, and information. Okay. So here I want stop. Okay. Stop error code will be not in list. Here I just want to add please select from list. Then if you click on OK, see if you go, whenever you're coming here, automatically that information will come first. And if you try to enter something wrongly, it will say, please select from the list, not any list. That error code will come here. That's what data validation is all about. Now, slicer and timeline. Slicer and timeline is two tools which you can actually use as an aesthetic part of your reporting. Okay, so what you can do here is let's see how to use slicer and timeline in this data. Here I have employee ID, date, city, and sales made, quantity of sale made by that party. So I'm just converting this into table. Now, if I go to insert, you can see slicer here. Okay, so if you click on this slicer, based on what you want to put the slicer, it will ask. So I want the slicer based on the city. Now if I click OK, it will show you all the cities which is available in this list. Okay. Now, if I want to put a filter here, okay, normally what we does is we'll select here and put a filter like this. Instead of that, what you can do is I want only, let's say I want only Coimbatore. So if I click on Coimbatore, only Coimbatore will come here. If I want only Alleppey, if I click on Alleppey, it will come there. If I want Kochi, if I click on Kochi, only then Kochi only will be coming there. If I want multiple options, I just need to press Control and then click Kochi and Coimbatore. Now it has Kochi, Coimbatore, and Kollam. Okay, same. This is what slicer is all about. Okay, now coming to the timeline. For timeline, will work only in pivot tables. So I'm just creating a pivot table with this data. What I want is I want the city-wise sales. So now here city-wise sales is available. Now go click inside the pivot table, then go to insert, and then click on timeline. If you click on timeline, automatically the date will be captured there. Date only the date, with the date only you'll be able to fix the timeline. Just click on that, then click on OK. So like this one, similar like slicer, you will be able to see this window. Now either month wise you can select. If you don't want month one, quarter wise means quarter wise you can select. And if you click on this Q2, let's assume on this blue tab, if you click only Q2 sales will be coming here. If I want Q2 and Q3, I can select both. No, both selection is not possible, sorry. Q3 I can select like this. Q1 means Q1 sales will come here. Q4 means Q4 sales. Actually nothing is there in Q4. So similar way it will come. And if you want it based on years, it is possible. If you want it based on months or days, whatever, however you want, it's possible. Okay. Accordingly, you will be able to put the slicer also. It's also like a slicer only timeline. Okay. Now, with the discussion up to slicer and timeline, with this, I'm closing the second phase of our discussion, that is preparing or cleaning the data. Okay. Now, coming to the last part, that is analysis part. As I already told you, we are already, the time is 7 now. So 30 minutes left for us. So I'll not be focusing in detail in the analysis tools, but yes, of course, I'll be discussing few tools which are actually basic tools of analysis. It's not the in-depth tools of analysis. Okay. So starting with fuzzy data. Fuzzy Lookup is a add-in tool which is available in Microsoft Excel. What does Fuzzy Lookups does is VLOOKUP, the challenge with VLOOKUP, what we have is it will give you only exact match. Even the formula VLOOKUP has approximate match function also. Whenever you would have tried approximate match with VLOOKUP, you would have failed to get the proper results. Okay, so Fuzzy Lookup is an answer for that. Now, where it will be very much useful for you whenever you are doing a bank audit. Okay, so when you go to a bank, one of the primary check that you have to do is that same customer doesn't have multiple customer IDs. Okay, if a same customer is having multiple customer IDs, and especially if one account is NPA and if the other customer is still live, means that means there is a possibility of fraud. Okay, so that is something as a basic check that you have to do when you go for a bank audit. But is it possible to do to actually verify the number of line items? See, here itself I have given 800 line items here, but it will be actually more than that. Like it will be, when you go to a bank, you will be having 10,000s or 20,000s line items, where how you will be able to check whether similar names. Okay, it will not be the same name. If it is same name, you can do using VLOOKUP, but similar names will not catch using VLOOKUP. How you will check whether such items exist in the bank account? So you can use Fuzzy Lookup. Whatever output you are getting from the Fuzzy Lookup, what you can do is you can call for the KYC documents that the bank has, and you can verify and you can satisfy yourself that both the parties are different. Okay. Now, how to perform this? Now, as I told you, all these things are add-ins which you can download, and whatever add-ins are there, how to bring that into Excel is you just need to click on this file, go to option, click on add-ins. Here you will be able to see. Okay, here you will be able to see all the add-ins. Okay, that you just need to click and then click on OK. So you will get all those things in the tab itself. Now in my Excel, if you see whatever you are seeing here, the data analysis and solver, these two are add-ins. Power Pivot, this is an add-in. Then Fuzzy Lookup, this is an add-in. So all these things are add-ins. Okay. So now how to use this Fuzzy Lookup tool. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this Fuzzy Lookup. So it will list out all the tables available here. Just a second. Again, table name confusions will come. So let me change the table name. Table design, table 9. I'll change it as Fuzzy. Okay. Then again, I'm going to Fuzzy Lookup. I want the result to be coming here. So again, I'm just going to Fuzzy Lookup, clicking on Fuzzy. Now we have the table name there. So we can select Fuzzy from this list. Fuzzy. With left table and right table means with what table you are going to compare. I'm going to compare in the same table. Okay, in the same table itself, whether the account name is repeating or not. So the columns are account name and custody, both I want as a result. And what is to be matched? Account name in the left column has to be matched with account name, same account name in the right column. So which means the account column here, it will check for fuzzy duplicate in the same column itself. Okay. What you want as a result, I want the fuzzy custody, account name, and like both from both the tables. Okay. If it is repeating twice, it should come twice. Okay. In the both the places, left side as well as right side. And what is the threshold that you want? Before that, how many number of matches? If you click only one, you will get only one such matches. So I'll just keep it like how many ever number you want, you can keep it. I'm just keeping it as 6. The percentage of similarity threshold also I'm keeping it as 60%. Okay, if the two names are matching up to 60%, you will get this result as fuzzy duplicate. Okay, with this I'm just clicking on go. So now what happened here is in this column B, each name, say for example this Sindhu Unni, that name will be again searched for in all the rows other than including row number 6. Okay, not other than this Sindhu Unni for a match, the system will check in all rows including B6. Okay, so of course 100% match will be there in all these results. If you see, the entire result would have come here. Okay, why? Because there will be a 100% match, which we can see from here. The similarity is 1, which means both are same. So what you can do is put a filter for similarity 1. Put a filter for similarity 1. Just give a checkpoint that both the customer ID on the left table and the customer ID on the right table are the same. If you get the result as true for all, like this, if you get the result as true for all, that means both are same customer IDs only. Then you need not think about the similarity, which means 100% mapping. So you select all other item which is not 1, which are not 1. Okay. Once you select that, you can see here there is one customer ID 2173065, which is matching with 3 other names. Okay. What are all those 3 other names? Another customer ID 1016904, that is Tapasya Vanita Swayam Sahaya Sangam. So this is Swayam Sahaya Sangam. So 60% match is what we give. That's why these two are picked up. Same way, this is also Swayam Sahaya Sangam. That the same name will be coming here. Then Sneha, this is Sneha Swayam Sahaya Sangam, and this is Swayam Sahaya Sangam. Same way, see here, Sanal Kumar S.P is almost more than 60% matching with Sanal Kumar P.S. Okay, same way you can see here Joseph VF alias Jason, Joseph alias Jason.vf. Okay, so these two it's almost looks similar, like, but from my VLOOKUP you will never be able to find out this data. So you can call for, as I told you, you can call for the KYC documents of these two parties, of these two customer IDs, and ensure that these two are different people. Okay, this is the benefit of fuzzy data. Okay, so now this is the first tool which we learned in data analysis. The second one is solver. Okay, what is solver? If you have any queries that has to be solved, okay, it can be done through this tool called solver. Where it is available? It is there in the data tool under analyze tab, solver. Okay. So as I told you, whatever I'm going to show to you today, the analyze tab, this analyze tab which I explained to you, as well as the fuzzy lookup which I explained to you, both the tools are add-in tools. Okay, so you have to add into your Excel. Okay, now this is a magic square puzzle. Okay, so now let's assume that you should fill this data with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These integers has to be used. Okay, these integers has to be used, and the total in everywhere it should come as 15. Let's assume all the total should come as 15. How you can solve this puzzle is what we are going to see. Okay, so selecting this area and clicking on solver. It's already done actually here, so I'll just remove it. Set objective. So now when you're clicking here, when you're solving this puzzle, actually all the items here, totals, whatever you're given here, that should be 15. So you don't have one objective, you have multiple objectives. So this actually doesn't make any sense, but at least one objective you have to select to keep the solver alive. So for that purpose, I'm just selecting this total. Okay, that should be value of 15. That's what I'm giving. Okay, so this is only a dummy objective. The actual objective I will write in this constraint. Okay, now changing which value? By changing all these values from 1 to this 9. Okay, now I want to add constraints. What are all the constraints that I have? This values 1 to 9, all these 9 values, it should be different. It should be all different. So number should not repeat. Okay, so I'm adding that as a constraint. The next constraint is this entire table. Okay, there all those values should be integer. Okay, you should not get any result like 1.22. That is not possible. It should be integer. I'm adding that also as a constraint. The next constraint is all these totals should be equal to 15. I'm adding that also. Same way, all these total should be equal to 15. I'm adding that also as a constraint. So now if you see here, all the constraints are added. And then this is the method of solving using solver. You can use GRG nonlinear or simplex or evolutionary. You will get the result. So I'm just selecting GRG nonlinear, then clicking on the solver button. Now the answer has come here, it is 15, and it is asking that you want to keep the solver solution. Once you click on OK, the result, whatever is coming there, it will be given there. If you're clicking cancel, it will go back to the old data. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, if you see here, all the totals are 15. Okay, so this is the purpose of using solver. This is just to give you a flavor of solver. Now, moving to another example. This is normally we use in logistics industries. Now, let's assume that a logistics industry has to deliver to 5 of its customers the ordered quantities so and so. It has 3 warehouses, warehouse 1, 2, 3. The available quantity is mentioned here. Okay, and the warehouse to customer 1 cost is 3.26. Similar way, all the cost is mentioned. From warehouse 1 to customer 2, it is 9.31 rupees. So like that, from each warehouse to each customer. Okay, that matrix is given here, the cost matrix, per unit cost matrix. Now the question is, from which warehouse I have to deliver to which customer? Okay, in such a way that I will achieve the lowest possible cost. Okay, so I want to minimize my cost. How can I do that? This can be solved using solver. Okay, how to do that? So here the conditions that I have to keep is whatever total I get for warehouse 1, this is a total formula. Okay, whatever total I get here, that should be less than or equal to available inventory. It cannot be never more than the value which is there in J. Correct. Same way here, whatever total I get for each customer, that should be exactly equal to the total requirement of that customer. Okay, because it should not be less than, it should not be more than. This is the requirement of customer. We should meet that. Okay, so that is another condition which has to be made. Again, you cannot do a part like a point kind of with the decimals. You'll not be able to send quantities. So let's assume that the quantities should be in whole numbers. So there also we have to give it as a condition. Now, how to solve this using solver is what we are going to see now. Just clicking on solver. Again, here I'll delete all the things which I already added. Just give me a second. Let me delete all these items. Okay, so now I'm going to solve this question. Okay, set objective. What is my set objective? I want to have the minimum possible cost. That is my objective. So that comes in total cost, which comes in L9. Okay, a formula is given there. So once the entire data is filled, automatically cost will come there. I'll show you the formula once I close the solver dialog box. So I selected that. What is the outcome I want? I want the minimum cost. Okay, so I'm selecting minimum here. Okay, then by changing which value? By changing this entire value up to customer 5 I have selected. Now, what are all the constraints that I have? The first constraint that I have is this entire cell should be integer. I'm adding that constraint. Okay. The next constraint that I have is this cell should be less than or equal to this cell. I'm adding it. Then this cell should be less than or equal to this cell. Again, I'm adding that constraint. One second. This is not good. Okay. J H10 should be less than or equal to J10. Okay. Adding it. Then H11 should be less than or equal to J11. I'm adding that also. Then you have a constraints like this should be exactly equal to 14,000. Add this should be exactly equal to 35,000. Add this should be exactly equal to 76,000. Add this should be exactly equal to 36,000. Add this should be exactly equal to 12,000. Add. So now I added all the constraints that I have. Okay, so once I've added all the constraints, then I'm just clicking on solve. Now the lowest possible cost for transporting this entire requirement of these customers, 5 customers, is 7,90,520. That is the lowest possible cost. To achieve that lowest possible cost, the 14,000 units which is required by customer A has to be gone from warehouse 2. Okay, if you see here for customer 1, actually the warehouse 1 is 3.26 only. But if you send from 3.26, then in that case from other places, like see here 4.49 only for customer 3 warehouse 1, but the other warehouses are too costly. So with all permutations combinations, now system says that for customer 1 you should send from warehouse 2. For customer 2 you should send from warehouse 3. For customer 3, 66,000 should go from warehouse 1, 10,000 should go from warehouse 3. Like that, once you do the transportation like this, the total cost will be the lowest possible cost, which is 7,90,520. This is only a sum product formula. That's it. Sum product of these two, this and this. That's it. Okay. So I hope that is also clear for all. Now let's move to the next part of the discussion, that is data analysis. Again, this is a very detailed analysis to be done, detailed discussion to be done. Just like Power Query, data analysis also has a lot of capabilities, but we are not going into all the detailed analysis for want of time. Okay, so what I'm going to do today here is I'll just show you few tools which you can use in data analysis. So here again, this is an add-in tool. Okay, if you click on this data analysis, see, in analysis tool, you have so many statistical functions which can be used, like rank, percentile, regression, sampling. Even sampling can be done using this. Then t-test, histograms, correlation, standard deviations, and all those things can be done. Okay, so all those things can be performed. That though all these analysis tools you can do it, but I'm just showing one tool, that is descriptive statistics, which is actually very useful for us once we analyze a huge data. Okay, so just clicking on descriptive statistics, clicking on OK, it will ask for the input range. So I'm selecting the sales as my input range. Okay, then it has to be grouped by columns, and I want the result in a new workbook. I want the summary statistics. I want the kth largest. So let's tell fifth largest and fifth smallest value also in the result. Okay, it's an additional option given to you, like how you can analyze with the fifth largest is I'll tell you. Okay, so once you click OK, you will get the summary statistics here, which has the standard error, mean, median, mode, standard deviation. All those things will be mentioned here, which you can use it for data analysis. One way of doing data analysis with this data, I'll explain it to you now. Now we have taken the fifth largest item that comes to 35 lakhs. Okay, so the maximum item is also available here, which is 49 lakhs. Fifth largest is also somewhere near to that. It is actually 35 lakhs. So with which we can conclude that if I take the top 5 items as your sample, it will cover a major portion of the data, at least near to 50% of the data is what we can tell. Why 50%? I told this smallest 5 is 19 lakhs and it goes down till 14 lakhs. So you can expect only 50% from the top 5 items. Okay, now what you can do here is, this is the maximum 49 lakhs. The fifth largest is 35 lakhs. So if I take the 5 items as your sample, I'm just taking the average of that into 5. Your approximate sample value will be this much, 2 crore 12 lakhs, which divided by the total population, that is 4.94, you'll get 43% sample. So without going into the data, okay, you're not gone into the data. With the summary statistics available here, you are able to tell that approximately around 40 to 45% of sample you can cover if you verify top 5 items. Okay, now we will see whether that is correct or not. So what you can do is you will put a filter here. This is actually very small data. Such tools are actually useful when you have a very large data, largest to smallest. So top 5, I'll just give a formula here. So this is the total amount. So I'm just giving the percentage check here now. So as I told you, what we got as a result is 43%. Actual result is also 43%. Okay, so if you take the top 5 items, it will cover 43% of sample value. Okay. Now that's what data analysis tab. As I told you, it has a lot of other functions also, which I'm not touching in today's session. Now moving to what if analysis. Okay, so what if analysis actually gives you an answer. Like if you have a query like if my quantity is 200, how much profit I will get. So the same like exact English meaning of what if. Like if my profit is if my price is 40, what will be my profit if all other things remains the same. If such queries if you have, that can be solved using what if analysis, which again comes under data tab under forecast ribbon. Okay, so if you click on this what if analysis, you have 3 types of analysis can be done. One is scenario manager, second one is goal seek, third one is data table. So first we will see what is scenario manager. Scenario manager actually is useful when you have to check 1 or 2 items. I already created 2 there, I'll delete that. Okay, so now I'm going to create scenarios here. Here, before that, I'll explain you what is the data that I have. Here I have a price of 32 per unit. I have sold 100 quantities. If I have sold 100 quantities, my total revenue will be 3,200, 100 into 32. Transportation cost, let's assume 10% of the sale value. Okay, item cost, let's assume 20 per unit, so 2,000. Total cost is 2,320. My profit is my 3,200 minus 2,320, that comes to 880 rupees. If this product, if all other things remains the same, I'm not touching all these items now. If all other things remains the same, that doesn't mean that it remains the same amount. Okay, let's assume the item cost is 2,000, means when I'm changing the quantity, of course this item cost will change. What I meant is per unit 20 is not going to change. Here 10% of sale value, that is not going to change. That criteria is not going to change, but the amounts will of course will change. Okay, so if I change the price or quantity, how it is going to affect my profit is what I'm going to see now. Okay, so I'm going to what if analysis, scenario manager. I'm going to add first criteria, that 200 quantity. For 100 quantity we have the result. Now if it is for 200 quantity, by changing the quantity, okay, by changing the B4, what will be my profit? So I'm just changing the B4 from 100 to 200. I'm clicking on OK. I'm adding one more thing, 300 quantity. This is actually scenario name. Whatever you want, you can give here. Again, by changing B4, OK. B4 should be changed from 100 to 300. Again, clicking OK. Okay. Then if you select this 200 quantity and just click on show, it will show you how much is the profit. The value changed here. If it is 200, 1760. If it is 300 quantity, then click on show. It will show you for 300 how much is the value. If you want this as a summary, if you just click on summary and just click OK, you will get the scenario summary. If it's 300, current value is 300. Current value is 300 means whatever we are given here is 300 right now. If it is 300 means profit is 2640. If it is 200 means 1760. But this generally we use for one or two scenarios, not more than that. If you have so many scenarios which you want to analyze in detail, you have another option that is called this data table. We'll explain that. Okay. Now coming to the second part of today's discussion on what if analysis. The second one is goal seek. Okay. So goal seek you generally use, like if you go here itself, it will explain you what it is. It find the right input for the value you want. Okay. So I want the profit to be 1,400. Okay. Then how much quantity I should sell? Or I want the profit to be 1,400, but I can't sell more than 100 quantity. Then at what price I should sell? Okay. Such queries, if you have, that can be solved using goal seek. Okay. So now here set sell value. Sell value is actually profit, E9. E9 has to be changed to 1,400. Okay. So I want a profit of 1,400 by changing what? By changing quantity. Okay. If I click OK, you will get the result. If I sell 159 quantity, my profit will be 1,400. Okay. Again, I'm going back to 100 quantity, 880 rupees. Now we'll see one more example of goal seek. If I have to get 1,400, but I cannot change the quantity, but I can change the price. In such a scenario, the by changing cell will be price, then clicking on OK. If I sell it for 38 rupees, okay, instead of 32, which was there, if I sell it for 38 rupees, you will get the profit of 1,400. It actually will have decimals. Now, since I just directly entered 38, it's showing 1420. Okay. So that's what goal seek is all about. The tool called goal seek. Okay. Now, moving to the last part of discussion on what if analysis, that is called data table. Okay. So what data table will do for you. Okay. So see here, I told you when you have one or two scenarios, like the 100 you want to change it to 200, For 100, you want to change it to 300. You can always use the first scenario manager. But when you have a list of items to be sold, like you want, if I sell from 200 to 800 every 100 units, what will be the change in my profit? I want to know that. Means you can use this third one that is called data table. Okay, so how to use it? To use it, first I've just given a link from the profit. So profit is reproduced here. Okay, and the quantities that I want, I've keyed in on the left hand side of that profit figure, one row below the left hand side. Okay, one row below the profit figure. Okay, so I've added 200 to 800. Even I can add more also. Okay, so then I have to select this entire area. Okay, where the quantity is mentioned, including the price amounts. Okay, just click on what if analysis, then data table. Okay, so here what you have to give is the row input cell and column input cell. Here you don't have any row input cell to be given because you are going to see for this column only. So this is 200 up to 1100. It's given in a column D. Okay, so your column input cell is only what you're going to give. Your column input cell, but for this 880, for this profit of 880, what was the input? The input was 100 unit. Okay, this is what system is asking you in data table. For this profit, what was the input cell? So I given before, then just click on OK. It will throw out the result for other quantities also. So here, if I sell 200 units, I'll get 1670 as profit. If I can sell 1100 units, then my profit will be 9680 will be the total profit. We can check this also. This 300 2640 we have already seen in the scenario manager. 300 quantity 2640, 200 quantity it is 1760, 200 quantity it is 1760. Okay, so these are all the some of the analytical tools which I wanted to discuss with you. So as I already told you, I'm not test all the analytical tools which is available in Excel. You have something called as Power Pivot and all those things, so which I have not touched as of now. So with this, we have almost covered all the topics which we planned for the day. So yes, you can ask any doubts in that now.
Members, please post your questions in the chat box.
I understand that when I have covered a lot of tools, it might be difficult for you to have queries without practically doing it. That is also possible. So in such a case, anytime you can contact me to my email ID or to my mobile number, which is given over here. You can call me or you can mail me. I'll be happy to help you. Now, if you have any queries, you can post that in the chat box.
Manu, I actually have a question. You started the session with a get and transfer data topic.
Transform data, yes.
So you were using a tally file that had a date of last entry as 31st March 2021. What if this was a continuous tally file, and then in such a situation, how do you take the trial balance, or as in take the closing figures as on a specific date, such as March 31st?
In tally, you have to tally. We can fix the period. No, once you open the tally, once you open the company tally,
it automatically picks up that.
Yeah, it'll automatically picks up. Yes.
Okay.
Whatever period is given in tally. Once you immediately load the company by pressing F2, you'll change the period. No, whatever period is available there, that will automatically pick up.
All right. Yeah. I don't think we have any other questions coming. I think that's it. Then thank you very much, Manu. That was a great session. Like you said, when you started the session, you've given us a lot of clarity on the potential of data analysis using Excel and also the tools available. I think we can all go back and look at the many videos online and practice these tools. I think a lot of questions we'll have only once we practically try using these things.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your contact details also. I'm sure a lot of us will get back to you on questions we have on these. So thanks again for joining us this evening. Thank you very much. That was a very useful session for all of us. Thank you very much, Manu. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much.